Hi, I'm here with Chapter 11, Phoenix and the Falcon. I saw you last 2 weeks ago, and we, as usual, left Helena in rather dire circumstances. As I always say, you can get this book on Amazon.com, and also it's available as a Kindle book. So here we go with Chapter 11. Last time we left Helena, she has invoked a legacy curse. It turns out her grandfather had hidden powers. Chapter 11. The curse invoked, Helena stilled her voice. Her body no longer surged with power, but was quiet and debilitated. The raw sensation of omnipotence had vanished. She felt exposed. Her eyes on Grulia, she trembled with exhaustion. Seeing her weakness, he laughed, and his mouth ripened into a vicious sneer. Yet, behind his bravado, she sensed fear. Though her words had been Persian, she knew he had felt the full force of their malevolence. The curse had been woven tightly, without a seam, lacking only her blood to secure it through time and space. How she understood this, Lena could not have said. The knowledge emanated from her flesh, her very bones. Something of the power lingered, separate, alive, unwelcome. She could not give it a name, much less set it aside. She continued to stare at Grulia, undisturbed by the malice in his eyes. She knew darkness. She had been its instrument. Its evil was puny and inconsequential compared to what had consumed her, what had fed her soul. She wished it away. But unable to focus, her thoughts drifted. Time slowed, losing its continuity. Someone nudged her, but she ignored the prodding. Instead, with dispassion, she wondered why her hands had reversed the order of the runes, drawing first with the left and then with the right. Oddly apathetic, she disregarded the mystery, staring at nothing in particular on the ground. Again, there was an intrusion, someone squeezing her hand, shaking it. She stirred herself and saw Karatapan, his eyes intense with dread. "Helena," he whispered, "what have you done?" He took Pasiel by the halter and guided him backwards to create distance from Julia. They remained close to Valamir and Thudemir's position, but a little behind them. She barely noticed. Instead, she smiled with twisted exultation, cherishing the darkness. It was a cocoon, shielding her and keeping her safe. Grulia will find his death hard. The Dark Lord doesn't do your bidding. You do his. If you don't stop this, he'll have you for all time. Karatapan whispered with heightened urgency. "What's wrong with revenge?" she flung back. Karatapan persisted, his distress and affection creating ever-widening cracks in her shadow world, pushing through the miasma, forcing her to feel again. "The price is too high, Helena. You'll pay with your soul, with your humanity. In the end, you'll be no better than he." Hot with shame, she heard truth in his words. Still, the heaviness remained, its malevolence corrupting her very air she breathed. In despair, she struggled against its odious taint. "You must do as I say, Helena." Her voice was flat, monosyllabic. "Tell me what to do. Pray with me. Say, 'Please, Lord, return to me. Forgive me, for I have invoked darkness. Without you, I am dust. Protect me, guard me from all that is not you, and with your sacred golden light dispel any darkness from my soul." Lena repeated the first phrase with reluctance, forcing it from her throat. With each word, the resistance lessened, losing its hold. All at once, the corrosive presence was gone. The air smelled sweet once more. The sky was vivid blue. "Now," Karatapan said, "draw this rune on Pastiel's neck." He traced a small insignia with his finger through the horse's thickening winter coat. Lena watched him carefully. Unlike her grandfather's, the rune was simple. Drawing the sign, she felt refreshed, even renewed. In the old days of Persia, mothers would teach their children this rune as a ward against the Dark Lord. Can you remember it? Feeling an odd tingling She nodded, unable to tell him that she recalled the symbol. Her grandfather had taught it to her years ago, when she'd been afraid of the dark. Speech had become a distant goal, requiring enormous effort. Helena, do it again, quickly. This time, draw the rune with your eyes as well. Imagine it glowing with golden light. She obeyed without hesitation. Her lethargy vanished as if it had never been. Grandpa let out his breath, audible in his relief. Good. It's only a simple rune, but I don't know any others to protect you from that thing you invoked. Helena's heart opened to him. He was agitated and out of his depth. As she spoke, her voice was calm, quiet. She felt rooted to the earth, yet part of the sky, the wind, the voice under her. It will be enough, Gratapan. Have trust in the One. His light alone vanquishes darkness. For a moment he looked bewildered, then elated. He smiled with a kind of pride. You are of the old blood, Helena, as was your grandfather before you. Always remember that. She shook her head, remembering last night's dream, wanting over the best, only the best of her grandfather, not this other memory that both compelled and frightened her. Valimir interrupted them. Kratapan, Helena, he said in Greek. Quiet, you distract me. His voice was harsh. He looked back at them, his eyes were troubled, yet almost afraid. A sense of part of the evil. Helena wondered how much time had passed. For her it seemed a lifetime. She realized